Hey there guys, thanks for joining us for this Kickstarter preview. Today we're having a look at Battleground Fantasy Warfare. This is actually an expansion to the original game, which is obviously Battleground. This is the Men of Hawkshold expansion from Your Move Games. We're just gonna... This is quite a difficult one to do because it's not a board game as such. It's effectively a war game with cards. So they look like this. We'll go through that in a minute, but I just wanted to quickly give you a rundown of what's happening. So we're going to play a battle report, and I say we, it's me and D.
Hello.
And we're going to use the intro scenario that comes with the quick start rules. So this is Civil War. My French pronunciations are terrible, so I'm just going to go with me and D. I've just been claimed king, but D is the upstart and doesn't believe I am the rightful ruler, so he's starting a civil war. That's him there in the knightly unit, and then he's got a couple of... He's roused the rabbles of peasants and militia to come try and defeat me. So he's got 2 militia, a scout cavalry, and a peasant mob. I have the standing troops of my kingdom, which I've got 2 units of spearmen, a swordsman unit, and a lancers unit. Now, before we get to that, I just want to show you... I've got a longbowman unit here, just to show you roughly what the stat line is, so you know what we're talking about during the game. Because D and I are going to actually play a full battle. We're going to show you how the scenario works, how the rules work, that sort of thing. So these bars down here is their health line. So green is obviously very healthy, yellow is wavering, red, you're on the cusp of death. Over here is your attack strength. So the sword represents your attack value. The number in dice, in brackets, is the number of dice you roll. That's your attack skill. You compare that versus the enemy's defense skill. And then your strength skill versus their toughness skill. This is their ranged unit, if they are a ranged unit. This is their morale, and this is their speed. It's done in inches. These cards are actually done via a 3.5 and a 2.5, going like that. So you could actually use the cards to do the measuring, which is what I think we're going to be doing. And then on the back, you might have the points cost. So if you want to build an army, we're using pre-made armies from the scenario. And this tells you any special stats. Obviously longbowmen are not very good in combat, so they get minus stats when they're in combat. But other things like, for example, cavalry might get special bonuses. Each faction also has certain keywords and bonuses they get. For example, the Hawk army have the bravery keyword, which we'll get to later. And they also have spears and cavalry in their army, and these are the benefits they get. I'm not going to go too much into that because obviously there's a lot more going on than just a few words that are going to sprout out. We also have this command deck over here, which I'll get to in a minute, but they basically give you little action cards. Red is aggressive action, blue is defensive actions, green are neutral actions. The scenario in this case is obviously we're having a little bit of a scrap. Behind what we're trying to do is destroy 425 points of opponent's army. So if I get 30 points killed and D's on 300, then I will win at the end of that turn. The turn sequence revolves around three sections. So the first thing you do is you got your movement and control command phase. So every unit gets a standing order to begin the game with. So for example, we're all going to begin on close order, which means because we're filming this, we're not going to use the dry erase markers, but these cards are used. You get a dry erase marker and you just mark on them what you want to do, but it's hard to see that on the camera, so we're going to use dice and just remind you what they do. But you mark in the circle here, for example, in the beginning of this game, all of them will be marked with C, which means they will close with the enemy on a normal basis, unless they're giving us a different order, or you take control of one of the units directly, because we're kind of like a godly order. So, on the movement phase, everything will move towards the nearest visible enemy, unless you do one of your command actions. You get 2 command actions a turn. They can do either, you can change a standing order, and you can either change from close to ranged or to hold. Those are the three orders you can do. Other than that, you can take direct control of a unit. So if you don't want, for example, this unit just to march towards the nearest enemy, you can move him and go out into the flank or something like that, or whatever you want to do. The other thing you can do is for one action, you can draw a command card from the deck. Obviously, they will do different effects. And then the other thing you can do is you can use your bravery ability, which is you just mark the little swallow symbol over there, and it allows you to use your bravery ability. And if any of your units are running away, you can try to rally them. So those are the things you can do in your command phase. Then it goes to combat phase. If anything is engaged, or if you have ranged units, you get to do the combat phase. And then finally, it's the courage phase, where you take courage tests for units that have taken damage. And we'll get to that during the section. But then once you've done that, you go back around again. Next player becomes the active player. And you keep going back and forth until the mission scenario is achieved. Anything you want to add, Dee?
No.
Alright, so as the attacking player, Dee's going to be going first. And a slight change we made to the scenario, which I noticed after a couple of plays, is that we're obviously, at the beginning of your turn, you start off with one of these command cards. But in the opening scenario, you just get two immediately at the beginning of every turn. But we're not doing that. We're going to play as you would normally play, where you have to spend command actions to draw them. Because we're just trying to show you the game. Later on, we'll do videos where we have proper battle reports with all the unit abilities, etc. So let's get started with the first turn. Alright, Dee, take it away.
Right, so my first action is I'm going to take control of the Scout Cavalry. So they have a movement value of 7. So the first thing they're going to do is I'm going to look to just change their direction a bit. So use the furthest corner, and then they can't move any further than the flat of the opposite edge. So this is 3.5 of their move. So that's 3.5 to there. Then they're going to move another 3.5 to there. So that's 7 in total. So that's theirs. Then the second action I'm going to do is I'm going to do a similar thing with the knights. So they're going to go 3.5, sorry, 2.5 turn to there, and then another 2.5 as they're heavily armoured, so they've only got a movement of 5 inches.
They're the tanks of the medieval era.
So that's my 2 actions. So these 3 units are still under the closed command as well. So once you've done your 2 actions, these will then go towards the nearest enemy and moving their normal speed. So 2 militia units and the peasant mob are all the same speed. So 3.5, they will just trundle forward in an advance. That is my turn.
Well, we would go to the combat phase, there isn't any, and then courage phase, there isn't any, and then that's the end of the turn. So, my turn. So I can see now, you can see from my perspective, they're still a little distance away. Obviously, my orders are all still on C as well. So what am I going to do? I think I'm going to take control of my lances. So I'm going to counter D's move over there. And I'm going to turn them like this. Oh, wrong way. I'm going to move them across like that. My movement is 6. I've done 3.5, so I've got a 2.5 left. And I'm going to carry on straight like that. And then everything else, I'm just going to keep on the C order, close order. So for my last action, I'm going to draw a card from the command deck. That'll go into my pile, and then everything else will just move up their orders. So 3.5, he's going to go to there, he's going to go to there, and he's going to go to there. Hold the line, form the line. Alright, that's me done. No battles, no courage. Over to you, D.
Alright, my turn. I am going to take control of this militia unit. They're gonna go 3.5 this way, and I am going to, with a Scout Cavalry, I'm going to get them to hold. So that would effectively then change this icon. Oh, without cheating, that would change that icon to a H. So their action is they're able to stay in that position without moving, to try and wait for some reinforcements for those lancers running at my face. So that's those. Everything else then moves forward as per usual.
You would have noticed, obviously, D to control of this unit last turn. That doesn't change their order. That just means he interrupts their order, if you like. So they're still on the C close order.
That's what allows them to turn as well. So if you're not looking to turn, they just run towards it. So with this one, this is the closest enemy. Will they turn to face and then go towards them?
Yeah.
So they essentially will turn to face. That's 2.5. And then another 2.5. These guys will move 3.5. And then these guys, so because they can't move past them, they'll sort of shift around to try and gain some position.
Yeah, the units can't overlap.
Right. That's my turn. No combat. It looks like I am not very regimented. You're in your nice line in your arm, and I've got a bunch of freaks running around just getting ready to throw some weapons at you.
Alright, my turn. I'm going to declare a hold order on both of my spearman units. So those are both my actions, is to declare hold orders on them. Which means I can't draw any more cards, but I can and have to move these units. So the swordsmen are going to go forward 3.5, and the lancers, so the nearest enemy unit is the scout cavalry. When you want to see if they're in a final rush phase, which is basically whether or not they can charge or not, you measure from the center to their center. If it's within their move distance, which is 6, so in this case it's not, it's just out, then they would go into combat, but in this case they're not, so they just have to move towards the nearest. So that's 3.5 and 2.5, which stops them just there in front. Alright, and as you can guess, there's no combat, no courage tests. Over to D, although I suspect there might be courage combat this turn.
There is certainly going to be some kind of combat. So, at this stage, I obviously want to check to see what sort of people are going to be getting into combat. So clearly these guys are just going to close in there. Although I'd have to change their order.
Yeah, because you've got on hold. Yeah, so they'll just stand there and wait.
This unit is within, so they're going to end up charging them in the side as well. These guys are out of range, so they won't charge there. And these guys have got out of range as well. So it's effectively these two are going to be. So I'm going to have to, if I want these guys to go into combat, I'm going to have to get these guys to change their order again to do a close, which I will do.
Or you can obviously just take control of them and charge them yourself, rather.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's better to change the order because then they're more aggressive for the future.
Yeah, exactly, which is what you would do. So I'm changing that one back to a close action, or to fit into combat there. These guys, like I said, they're gonna go into there.
So just so you're not confused, he's only done one action so far, which was change their order. The other two have moved because of their basic move actions.
The second action I'm going to do... Sorry, I got a bit excited there. Especially your two actions first before those other guys just move in. I am going to... Oh, that is interesting, that. I think I am going to take a card.
Okay.
That's my second action.
And then the other units.
That's when that moves in. So this one would be the closest enemy unit now. So this will essentially...
Just never trust the militia to do what you tell them to. I'm a little scared of the knights coming up.
By coming up, you mean
in my grill,
being able to smell them.
Something smells like horse manure.
So these guys are here, so they effectively need to probably get into a position where they can start going that way, then, don't they? So these would effectively go sideways.
Yeah.
So
When you move sideways, Oh, you want to say?
Yeah, so when you move sideways, so basically you've got your base movement of 3.5, you lose 1 inch of that movement, so it goes to 2.5.
Yeah.
So effectively...
Sideways is -1, backwards is -2, reform is -2, and obviously forward is just forward.
Okay, so that's my manoeuvring. So now there is going to be some fights.
Yay! We all love a fight.
Let's see how Lancers die.
Alright, so D is the active player. He gets to choose, in fact, he'll get to choose all his units that are engaged, roll the dice, and then do any attacks that he wants to and play any cards he wants to. You can only play 1 card per combat, and a combat is basically units engaged. But once he's done, I'll then get to do my fighting, and because it's effectively simultaneously, so it won't affect any of my stuff. But I can also still only play 1 card.
So I could theoretically kill this entire unit with these 2 units of attacks, but he still gets to fight back.
Yes.
Okay, so I will start with the Scout Cavalry. So as we explained in the beginning video, so my stat line, you've got next to the swords, you've got a number in brackets, so that's how many dice you roll. So I've got 4. They're considered to be charging on this turn, so you get +2 dice when you charge. Some units have special abilities, so the Scout Cavalry, because they are cavalry, on the back of their card, it also tells you that they get +1 armor on the hit roll when they are charging. So that means when Jason hits them back, I'm going to have a slightly better armor roll. And we're assuming that's because it's sort of dictating the fact that they're moving quite quickly, because obviously they're Scout Cavalry, they're harder to hit.
Well, basically, all cavalry have that sort of rule. It's like the horses give you a bonus to defense.
Yeah, and generally the Lancers and the Knights are then going to get bonuses to hitting as well, because they obviously pack a bigger punch. So I've got 4 dice normally, +2, so I've got 6 dice in total. So I'm going to be rolling all of these. I have an attack value, which is the first number on my left-hand side, which is 5. I'm then going to subtract the number of shields against his unit, which is 2, which gives me 3. So on each of these dice, to successfully score a hit, I need to roll a 3 or less. But before we roll, then obviously we can have certain cards that we can add to modify this. I'm choosing not to add anything at this moment. Jason, were you going to add any cards?
No, but I do, as I'm also cavalry and I have I'm the Lancers. I also count as charging because I was in the close order then. This is called the final rush. So I have +1 defense as a general. So I got +1 shield.
So I've got 5 minus his 3, so we actually need to roll a 2 or less to be able to hit.
Alright, go.
Right, so let's see how we do. So like I said, so I am now hitting on 2s or less. So on a 1 or a 2 I hit, on a 3+, these attacks miss.
Yeah, a 1 is always a success, 6 is always failure.
So roll those. Wow, that is a mighty fine attempt. So 2 of them miss. So I've got 4 successful hits.
It's funny, like as Warhammer players, like when you see 2 1s and 2 2s, you're like, oh my god, suck.
That garbage. In addition, the rule for cavalry on one of your little green cards that you've got, I think it's on there.
Yep. Impact hit.
Impact hit. What that means, it says in the rule book that after you've rolled your attack dice, you basically add 1 more additional hit.
Yeah. So even if you got no hits, you'd still get 1 hit.
So I've then successfully got 5 hits. So now is when we roll to see what damage I actually do and how I wound. So once again, using that same bit of statistic, so I've got a damaging roll of 5. Jason has a armor of 2 when it comes to the wounding roll. So 5 minus 2. I need 3s or less to inflict a casualty on his unit. So that is
less good.
1 once again. Looks great, but it's not. So they do nothing, they just bounce off. I do 1 point of damage.
Alright, so as you can see with the bars over here, normally you would just take a dry erase marker and just mark them in, but so you can see it on the camera, we're going to use these dice to show you. So I've taken my first one.
Okay, so that's that unit done. So now I go to my militia unit. So once again, obviously I know it's sideways for you guys, but they roll 5 dice normally. They charge, so they get 2 additional dice. So they've now got 7 dice on the attack. So they are attacking in the flank of the unit. So what that means is I'm going to get +1 to my hitting attempt. So essentially you increase this first number. So currently I have a attack value of 4. That's going to go up to 5 because I'm in the flank. He has a defense of 3. So once again it's going to be the same as what the Scout Cavalry have. So I'm going to be hitting on 1s and 2s. So this time I got just 2 hits, which is fine. It is what it is. So they all miss. These guys obviously aren't on cavalry, so there's no impact hits for those guys. So then I go straight to the wounds. So once again, I've got a value of 5 for my attack. He's got defense of 2, so 3s or less, and they cause damage. 1 point of damage. I'm just going to tick that along to there. That is both of my units attacking.
All right, so over to me now. So I've got 6 dice normally. So I've got my 6 attack dice, but because this is the first round of combat, I still count as charging. Oh, by the way, I have to choose who am I attacking. So I can either attack the Scout Cavalry or the Militia. If I attack the Scout Cavalry, I'll just get my basic stats. But if I attack to the flank of the Militia, I will get -1 dice. So I'm probably not going to do that. Also, I feel like... Alright, so for my attack back, my Lancers have 6 dice basic. And I also get the 2 for charging because this is the first round of combat. But I'm also going to play a card. So my thinking here is that I want to destroy the Scout Cavalry. If I can take out the right flank in terms of Scout Cavalry, the Militia shouldn't be that much of a problem. Especially considering I've got the Swordsman being able to do something on my turn. So I'm going to play Might. So I can play this during an attack, either before I roll to hit or before I roll to damage. So I'm doing this before I roll to hit. So my unit gets +1 attack, so +1 dice, and it gets +1 to damage as well. And it's, you know, thematic because it's a cavalry.
Mighty.
Mighty. So I am playing that die. You going to play any defense cards?
Nope.
Alright.
I don't need to because you're going to fluff your rolls.
You're probably right. Alright, so my cavalry are attack skill 5. Your defense is 2.
3 because I got +1 for defense.
Yep, so that puts me on 2s or less. Ugh,
2 hits.
It really did hit. Fluff it. So all these are obviously misses, but because I have impact hits as well, I get +1. So I got 3 hits. And now I am on strength 6 versus your defense of 1. So 5 or less. That's 3 wounds.
So 1, 2, 3.
Putting you into the yellow zone. Alright.
That's combat.
Yeah, so I don't get to strike against both of them. I obviously, like I said, I had to choose. So this gets discarded. And now we do command tests. So starting with the active player. The Scout Cavalry are command 12. They are in the yellow zone now, so they're -1.
So basically you roll 3 dice. I need to roll equal to or under the required amount to stay where I am and not flee. So I need 11s or less. That is very good.
Yep, they don't care a thing about that.
You only take rally tests when you've taken damage, so obviously these guys don't take any tests.
And I'm still in the green, so I'm a straight 12. And I've rolled 7, so I'm good.
Cool. So that is the end of my turn.
Yeah, so over to me now. Alright. What am I going to do? Right, so obviously down here on the left, I've put both these spearmen on hold. Because spearmen obviously get a bonus. They have to, you know, put out the spears and pick up the shields and whatever they're doing. So they get a bonus for being in a defensive pose. If I then choose to charge, then I'm going to obviously forfeit that pose. So I'm going to hold with them because I don't think the knights can get around me. And these guys are probably going to charge the militia in the flank. So I don't need to do anything with them. They're already engaged, so I don't have to worry about them. It's just these spearmen, yeah. They are on hold as well. And they do have a 3.5 charge, so I could charge that militia over there. And I think I'm definitely going to do that. So my first action is going to be to change their order to a C, which is close order. And then my second action is going to be to draw a card. Alright, and then we do some charges.
Move spearmen.
Yeah, they hold. The spears have a move of 3.5. And so they're definitely in range. To see whether or not where, if I'm flanking or rear or whatever like that is, you do a direct line between corner to corner of the enemy's thing, and then just grab one side of the D. So in that case, it shows you I'm directly on my center point. So if it was like, for example, like that, that's a frontal charge. If it was like that, that's a flank charge. Because depending where your center is, goes to where you're charging. So what am I? Directly center?
Yeah.
I don't know what that does.
We can roll a dice.
Yeah.
On a 1 to 3, it's a front charge. On a 4 to 6, it's a flank charge. It's front charge.
Alright, so I'm going to move them to there. And you said front, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I go in there. Alright. So that's all my movement, as I have less units than you. So we go into combat. I will start with my lancers over here, and they're going to continue their assault on the scout cavalry, as I'm trying to get rid of them. So now, where this is the second round of combat, so we don't count as charging anymore. I've only got the 6 dice. I don't think I'm going to play any cards. Are you playing anything, D?
I am. My scout cavalry are going to stand firm. So play during an attack, before your opponent rolls to hit. If my unit is not charging, which it is not anymore, gets +1 shield to the hit roll and the wound roll.
Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, so I've got 6 dice. My attack skill is 5. Your defense skill is now 3.
Defense is now 3, yeah.
So 1s and 2s. I got 2 hits. Impact only counts when you're charging, so I don't get the impact hit now. So now it's attack skill 5 versus your defense skill of 2.
Yep.
Or 1 plus 1 for the bonus. So 3s or less. Double 4.
Stand firm worked.
Ah! Right, so there's nothing there. And then the swordsman onto these guys. So the swordsman have got 5 dice normally. 2 extra for charging. And attacking into the flank gives me 1 extra.
+1 to hit.
Yeah, +1 to hit. So I'm attack skill 5, your defense skill 2, but I'm technically 6, so 4 less. Those missed. And then attack strength 5 versus your 1.
Yeah.
So still rolled a 6, can you believe it? Actually, it's 4 less.
4 less, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 5s missed as well. So
take that.
2 wounds.
damage. Okay.
And then my pikes, or my spears rather, they got 6 dice normally, and
2 extra for charge.
Yep, they don't get their bonuses.
Because they were in the hold position.
Yeah, but when you charge with spears, you actually get -1 attack. So you normally get 2 for charging bonus, but spears get -1.
So that shows that they're a bit more cumbersome to try and run with.
And if I was attacking cavalry, I'd get an extra bonus. So these are attack skill 5 versus defense skill 2, so 3s or less.
Wow.
That's much better. And then strength 5.
Against 1, so 4s or
4s or
less.
less. Oh, for God's
that weighs
sakes.
out nicely, I think.
2 more wounds.
2 wounds there.
And that is me done.
The fury back. Right, we'll start with this side with the militia. So I get 3, 5 dice. So I've got an attack value of 4, defense of 2 for you, so I hit on 2s or less. So I hit once. I've got a damage value of 5 against your armour of 2, so 3s or less. So I do 1 damage.
Yep.
Then we'll do the scout cavalry over here. So they've got 4 dice.
I am consider. Yes, I think I'm going to do it. I might be a waste here because you only got 4 dice. No, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to play parry, so I get +1 defense, and the attacking unit gets -1 attack.
Ooh, that's really good. Okay, so we're going to get 3 dice. So 5s against 2s, so it's 3s to hit, or 3s or less, or missed.
Yay!
And then the militia, all. So interestingly enough, this lasts for the round, so they could parry against those as well.
It's only this attack, so if they attack them, I don't have this.
Okay. So, well, I'll definitely attack you from there. So I've got 5 dice. I get +1 because I'm in your flank, so that makes me a total of 5. So Militia 2, so it's 3s or less to hit. Only 1 hit.
Militia.
Showing the experience here. And then I've got 5 against 2, so 3s to wound. Nothing.
Holy crap. So command phase. So the only thing you actually hit was this.
Yeah.
So I'm command 12.
They're going to fail, so no, I'm not.
No, they're good. And then you go across the board, basically.
So these guys are command 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. Just.
Ooh.
These guys are command 11.
That's 12.
So they fail. We'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah. So what you do is you turn them around to begin with, so you know.
So trying to run somewhere. And the Scout Cavalry, so they are on 11 as well. They are fine.
All right. So what's happening here is I think
They're
they might be
and...
this way. So what's going to happen is they're going to route, which is move away toward they're technically their nearest thing now that they're going to go for is the tail edge, and then these two are going to get a free strike on them from running away. So and this could potentially, well, probably will cause another route check.
Okay.
So these guys got 6 dice, and they're attacking to the flank, so it's +1 to hit, isn't it?
And yeah, because if they're going this way, so it's +1 to hit. So considered to have a fight value of 6. I have defense of 2, so it's 4s or less.
So I got 3 hits.
4s or less.
Oh,
All of them hit.
Oh crap! Yeah. Oh, these militia are in trouble.
And then you got 5s of 1, so 4s or less to wound.
So that's 5 wounds.
4s or less.
Oh, sorry,
So
4.
4s. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then the swordsmen, they're counter-attacking to the rear.
So they get +1 to attack and +1 to win.
Yeah.
So they're hitting onto a count of 6 +2, so 4s or less.
And
then 6 against 1, 5.
1 more
less,
wound.
So 1 more wound. Interesting because it knocks them into the red zone. So it does cause them to take another
route check, which is now at -2.
So they have a route value of 11, so I need 9s or less.
Oh, so, they would have failed no matter what.
So because they are already routed, and they've needed to take another route test while they were routed, that means that they are not coming back at all. They are considered slain.
Scattered to the wind.
So militia are worth 115 points. So Jason is 115 towards his victory total of, do we say 450, was it?
425.
425.
All right, and that was a successful turn for me.
So that's your turn.
Yeah.
Okay, right, on to my turn then.
What's interesting, obviously, that I was trying to force through the attack on the scout cavalry to get to, and instead the militia is the one that routed.
They managed to stay where they were. Right, so in my 2 actions, I'm just going to take 2 cards.
Cards are good, aren't they?
So, but the reason for doing that is because both my units are going to be moving into combat with both of the units anyway. So.
And you can't directly take control of units. Well, you can take control of units in engaged situations, but they can't maneuver or move, so you might as well just let them fight.
So I'll take 2 cards. Happy with those. So knights will of course move in.
That's going to hurt.
These guys, so interesting here is that they will engage in the flank.
Mm-hmm.
So they will go. Okay. And that takes us straight to the fight phase. Right, I will start. I think we'll start over here with the knights. Let's see what the knights do.
Okay.
So I've got 6 dice, 2 additional dice for charging. They have impact hits, so they're gonna do 1 additional hit as well. So I'll leave that over there as a hit. So we've got a fight value of 6. The spearmen have a defense value of 2, so it's 4s or less. I believe because the knights, they have the charge bonus, they get +1 to wound while charging. So we're hitting on 4s or less. So that's just 2 of those missed. Get my impact hit. So that's 7 hits. So they've got an attack value of 6, +1 for being the cavalry, so effectively it's a 7, minus his 2 resistance, whatever it is, so it's 5s or less to do damage. So 2 5 there, so that is 5 damage.
Ooh. That's all my green boxes.
Okay, then coming on over here, let us take we will give these guys an accuracy bonus.
It's a +2 to hit, isn't it?
+2 to hit. So they've got 3, 4, 5 dice. So I'm normally attack value of 4, +2, so now I'm attack value of 6. Get your defense of 2, so 4s or less. So that's only 2 hits.
Can only play 1 card.
Oh yeah. So only 2 hits. That's that done. And then damage of 5 versus defense of 2, 3s or less. 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
Then I've got the peasant mob. So they've got 5 dice normal, 2 for charging. They are in the flank, so that means that they get an additional +1 to hit. So they're 4s and 4s. So normally it'd be 2s, 1 easy for my charge, so it's 3s because I'm in the flank. 3s or less. There's only 2 hits from them. And then 2s or less to do damage. One of them gets poked in the eye with a pitchfork.
Spearmen are holding firm.
And then my cavalry. Right, I've got 4 dice to attack with. I'm on 3s or less to hit. 3 hits. And then I'm on 3s or less to wound, aren't I?
You'll notice I'm not playing any cards here because I don't have any. I've got 1 card and it's no good in this situation. He's busy looking at his cards, trying to see if he can force through pain.
3s or less. Take 2 damage. Knocks him into the yellow zone. Okay. That is
Alright.
what I could do there.
My retaliation. So I'll start with my lancers. They got 6 dice. Come on, finish off these freaking scouts. So I'm attack skill 5, your defense skill 2, so 3s or less.
3 hits.
And then strength of 5, defense of 1.
1, 4s or less.
2 wounds.
Tick, tick. Still alive.
Only just. And then over here.
Spearman.
So these guys have got 6. I'm going to focus on the militia. So I don't want to attack to my flank. That's crazy talk. So what am I hitting on? 5s versus your defense of 2, so 3s or less. Oh, that's not great.
2 hits.
Yeah, 2 hits. And then you're only a defense of 1. I'm attack skill 5, so 4s or less. 2 wounds. Right, and this is the big one. I need my spears to do me proud here. So, spearmen, I've got 6 attacks basic. When holding against cavalry, they get +2 strength, and they also get +1 to hit. So no extra dice. But I'm also... I really want to hurt you. Really bad.
Well, let's hope after this card game you don't. Do it.
What am I? I'm currently 3, so it's 4 or less. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to play force, giving me +2 more strength.
Oh dear.
Make me strength 9. But I've got to hit first.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get +1 to hit. So I'm on attack skill 6.
So 4s or less.
4s or less. I
That's
knew I
what
was gonna.
I'd see.
I knew I was gonna roll a
So
bloody
there's
lot of
3 of them
6s.
missed.
Yep. and then these ones are going to be on anything but ones.
So these are strength
9 versus your defensive 3, 6s or less.
Yeah, so basically on a, just on a 6 you fail.
Oh, of course I roll a 6. 2 wounds.
That's not bad considering.
Alright, and then we do command tests.
Yeah, so I think everybody, apart from the peasant mob, surprisingly.
And the swordsman.
And the sword, they won't in combat, were they?
Yeah. So let's start with the knights and cavalry down here. See how this goes.
Right, mine first.
Yep.
So now I'm in the red zone. That's basically -2.
Yep, so 10 or less.
They are not enjoying this fight. They are off.
So before they run, because I might be running as well.
So you're -1 to yours. So you're 11 or less.
9, 10, 11. I'm good.
Fine.
So I get to smash you.
Right, do you want to do it now?
Yep, might as well go as we go according to order.
So +1 to hit, +1 to wounds.
Yeah, so 6 minus
4s to hit.
4s on this. Oh my god. Where's all these 6s when I'm playing other games?
And then these, I think, are on
6
5 or less, I think.
So 3 more wounds.
3 more wounds, that kills the unit.
Explosion. How much am I up to now?
251.
Okay, fair enough. Over here.
These 2 here. I'll do mine first as well. So I'm in the yellow zone now, so -1 for the militia, so it's 10s or less. I'm okay.
Right, I'm still in the green, so 12s. Holy shit.
Just.
And over here.
So I'm in the green, so 13s or less.
Yeah, knights are pretty brave.
Ooh, only
Oh
just. Only just.
13. Alright, I'm on the border of green, so I'm still on 12, and I'm good.
Fine. Okay, right. And that moves on to
My turn.
your turn.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I think it's obvious. I need to take control of my cavalry so I can move them out the way so that the swordsmen can go into the flank. Because otherwise they can't see anything anyway. So
They're in the way, aren't they?
yeah. So I'm going to take control of them. If you could be so kind as to move them forward the small length.
2.5.
Yeah, like that. And then I'll do another one, a 3.5, sort of angling around.
Nice.
Yeah, like that. And bring them around. And then these guys are... Everything else is in combat, so I'm just going to draw a card. And in they go. And then on to fighty. So we'll start here with the swordsman, as they are the charging unit. So they get 5 dice normally, 2 extra for charging. They're attacking to the flank, so they get +1 to hit. So the stack skill of 6. Defensive 1!
Peasants.
So 5 or less.
Still missed twice.
God damn it. And 5 or less again. 4 wounds.
How was it, 5 or less or 4 or less?
But you still defensive 1.
Defensive one, but you
Oh
only
yeah.
took 5 because you only got +1 to hit in the flank.
That's
so
right, yeah.
So it's yes, it's 4 or less. So
Okay.
5 misses as well.
3 wounds.
Every little counts.
Yep, it does, because it would have put you into the yellow if that didn't. And then over here, these spears, I've got 6 attacks.
And they're fighting the militia in front of them.
Yep.
So defensive 2, you attack 5, so 3s or less.
3 or less. 2 missed. And then strength 5.
That's 1, so 4s or
4
less.
or less. 4 more wounds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And then my spears, I'm going to play force again. +2 to wound.
Oh dear. Alright, go for it.
Alright, so
So attack of 5 against defense of
I'm going to attack 6.
2. So you got 6 dice, 5 attack.
6 attack, because I'm +1 against cavalry.
Oh, because of your spears, of course.
Yeah.
So 4s or less to hit.
4s or less.
That's 1 miss.
Oh, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome.
So you got
+4.
7 against. I've got an armor of 3 though, so it's 4s or less to do damage.
I'm 9, yeah?
Why are you 9?
Because I got +2, and then I'm +2 because of spears.
Oh, spears always do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yep, 6s don't do wounds. So
4 wounds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Holy crap.
It's almost like spears are good against horses.
That's you.
Okay, so I will punch back. These guys, they need to really punch a hole for these guys. So I think I'm actually gonna play some might on them.
Oh, that's
During
+1 attack.
4 roll to hit, so they're gonna get an extra dice. So they're gonna give 7 dice.
I suspect both of these units are going to explode.
And it's going to do +1 damage. So attack of 6 against a defense of 2, so 4s or less to hit. 2 missed. And then, so now they've got a damage of 7 against your defense of 2, so 5s or less to do damage. That's 5 damage.
1, 2, 3, 4. They're on the last block.
So that's them. We'll then go to some militia. So 5 dice. So attack of 4 against defense of 2, so 2s or less to hit. That's 1 hit. That is a wound, I believe. That was an attack of 5 versus defense of 2, so it's 3s or less. These guys are also going to try and do some damage to the spearmen. So I've got 3, 5 dice to attack. +1 to hit because I'm in your flank. So that means I'm 5 attacks, so 3s or less to hit. And then 2s or less to wound. Nothing.
Oh, that was a bit of luck. Not that I'm needing it, right? Alright, command tests. So I'll start, I guess.
Sure.
This one. So they are still on the last bar of green, so 12. That doesn't help.
They are not happy.
So they are retreating. I'll put them like that for a second.
Let's see what mine do. So these guys are in yellow. Nope, still green. So 10s or less for the peasants. They're loving it.
Yep.
Militia, mine's 2, so 9s or less. They are gone.
So that's interesting because obviously neither of these two can now strike back, but the militia, the peasant can still hit my spearmen.
So I am indeed going to do that before you run off. So hitting on, so effectively I'm now in the flank, so I get +1 to hit and +1 to wound, so I'm 5 and 5.
Rear, not flank, but yeah.
Rear, sorry, yeah. So 3s or less to hit and then 3s or less to wound. So 3s or less to hit, 3s or less to wound, 2 wounds.
Puts me onto the yellow, so -1 to this command test.
Right, so this is the first time I've actually seen. Oh yeah, could you do your command test first and then we'll actually show what happens there?
Because I might die, and I do.
You do, yeah.
I do indeed explode.
That unit explodes from the fear of the peasants. And my militia.
It's the stinky smell, man.
It is. Hey, that is odour perfume. Right, so what happens is, because my guys haven't been hit again when they've run away, that means I don't take another route test. So then what they do is, at their full speed, they move away from the enemies towards my nearest table edge. So essentially I'm going to do here, in line for a lancer charge, it looks.
I knew that was going to happen, that's why I moved them like that.
So there you go. Then we need to do some morale tests over here.
This could win you the game, yeah? I think. 220. Oh no, you'll be 5 points short.
Oh, good. Well, I'm pretty sure if mine die, you'll win the game as well. So I'm at -2, so it's 11s or less.
Yeah, come on, roll high, roll high, roll high.
Roll them at the same time.
Oh, fine.
Come on.
Roll over here. I got blue dice. Oh, you failed.
I failed.
I passed.
4, 5, 6, 7.
I need 10.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I have failed. So they run. They're not dead yet though.
No, but I get to strike.
So you get a chance to strike them.
So I'm attack skill 6 because of spears, 7 because of the rears. So
6 is miss, so it's 5s or less. Everything hits.
of course it did. And then I'm only +2 strength, no +3 strength because of spears in the rear.
8. That is, you do at least 2 damage. You've got
Yep.
a 1 and a 2 there, so that's enough to kill them.
How much are they worth? They must be worth a nice chunk.
These are worth 413 points.
Yes! Upstart destroyed.
So that is a total for Jason of 4, 5, 6, 56, 664 points.
Nice. And you've got 220.
220.
What it was interesting because obviously with the other spearman unit, then you would have gone to 440 and you need 445.
Yeah. I thought 25, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have won.
But you still would have won because you killed
Yeah.
more points worth by the end of the turn. So.
Oh, well, there you go. That is a full scenario 1. So just out of interest sake, this is obviously what we played was scenario 1 insurrection. It shows you down there at the bottom. Baron Dinan wins, which is D. We go to scenario 2, which is civil war. And if Bergen Tremere wins, then scenario 3 coup de grace, which
I
is
don't know why he sounded like a sheep.
yeah. It's my French impersonation, which is not good, obviously.
We.
So this is the one we would be doing next. So you can see we get some new units, new battle setup, and a couple of other options to play during the game. So for example, we get longbowmen and dismounted knights, and there's so many options. Just to show you guys as well, this is half the deck that comes with it. You get swordsmen, spearmen, great swords, which are super cool. They got toughness 3, but they only got 1 defense, so they're quite clunky. But attack of 6 and strength 6 is really good, and obviously they got some skills. The longbowmen, they tell you how many shots they can have. You've got communal pikemen, so they have different skills as well. Pikemen are really cool.
Lots of variety, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, I say lots of variety. There's a lot of cards in there. Obviously, you've got a lot of duplicates. So obviously, I assume there is a way that you can just build an army based on points. So
Yeah.
it could be like, we're doing a 1,000-point battle, and you would just use what you wanted, and you could, if you wanted to, for the peasants, just have like 11 units of peasant mobs.
And the units also have like core, special, and rare, so you can't just have all rare units. You have to build an army specifically based on, you know, a sort of a system.
Yeah, you couldn't just take like, loads of elite knights, for example, because that would probably be a bit broken. Like, there's only so many peasants you can throw at them before they kill them all.
But you can recreate also some of like historical events. For example, if you wanted to do like the 100 Years' War, the Battle of what's the one of the English longbowmen and all the knights? I can't remember that now. Anyway, someone will comment below and tell me what it is. Remind me. But I just wanted to mention as well, they do a lot of other races as well. Obviously, we just played humans on humans here, but they got dark elves, they've got undead, they've got orcs, they've got dragons, they've got different types of elves, all types of things. So if you go to their website, you can get these already. But the Men of Hawkshold is their new faction, which will be coming to Kickstarter at the end of April. And this is what's they're going to be hoping to fund with your help. So if you liked what you saw here and you want to try and get hold of a copy and get some maybe of the extras that they do as well, you can follow the link which will be in the description below. That'll take you straight to the Kickstarter and you can go back it. I know the guys would love your support, and there's lots out there already, so it's not like you know it's an unknown game or unknown company. A lot of people like it. It's really well popular, very good. Oh my god, English has just left the building. It's a very popular game and people love it. So we like it, we enjoyed it. It's a good fun game. It's if you're not a good painter or you just don't want to have the time.
Or don't like figures, bear in mind that if just because us two do doesn't mean everyone else will.
Yeah, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed kicking your butt, D. That's what happens when you challenge the king.
It's lucky we filmed this game, not the one we played before, where I absolutely destroyed you.
That's true. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later.
Bye.